Derek Goodwin,
Present.
John McMahon,
Present.
Allison Bryan,
Present.
Julie Rollins,
Present.
Tim Perduca is present, Jack DiLorenzo,
Present.
Katie Campbell.
Present.
All right, we're all here. Very good. Let's see what we have.
We waited for a couple.
Yeah,
You
we're
want to
gonna-
go to the minutes first?
Yeah, let's see that. Let's approve the minutes. So if you guys get a chance to take a look at the minutes from the June meeting.
It's on page
Should be on page
4 and 5.
Yeah. Is there any change anybody needs to make to that?
I will say I'm trying to read, what Julie wrote about maybe John could explain. And your open space update was the guy that was doing the walkway from Little Harbor to off of Sandy Beach.
Oh, right.
Is that worded properly or not? We just,
Debrief.
I can't remember who brought that up.
More or less, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
someone approached open space, right? Oh, no, I think it was
To me.
you, that's right.
yeah,
Okay.
and then it came to me, and then he'll be coming to our next meeting.
Okay.
For the next open space.
Okay. There are
Do you have an extra copy? Should we change anything?
Okay, sorry.
any changes in there?
Good with that? Thanks.
Is there?
Yeah.
Um,
Allison's approving to me.
Allison,
Moving to approve.
move to
Allison
approve
moved.
the message, the meeting, meeting.
Minutes.
Minutes meeting from June. All those.
We need a second.
We have a second. Oh,
Second.
a second, Julie. All those in favor of approving minutes, please say aye. Aye. Great, I'll say that's unanimous. So we're waiting on a couple of, we're waiting on a couple, we're waiting on a bunch of students. We've got, some are, may or may not be coming. We're not sure if they're actually gonna be here, the junior volunteers, all of them. There's a number. Yeah, we got a few. Exactly. We've got 3, so, you wanna wait it out for them, maybe?
Yeah, we did say 7:10, so,
See that, okay.
and
And
but
then,
if you look at the list, list is here, how many hours they put in.
yeah, you wanna go through those? We can just kind of look at this, yeah, so if you guys take a look on that, I think it's page 3 there, where it lists each of the juniors. So these are junior volunteers that they're not full counselors, they're too young to be full counselors. So they go and they help out in myriad different ways, with the kids, they engage with the kids, and they also help the staff a lot. And this year with the, almost record number of campers that we had, it was a big, it was a really big help. And hopefully these guys are gonna be around for a long time and will join us very soon as actual counselors. We can hope, because they were a big help this summer.
I did do a little math, it shows the total number of hours times minimum wage, so it shows how much labor we got on them, so.
Yeah, so in essence, yeah, this is the difference here, like 940 hours at $15 an hour is $14,111,
Which is what we say.
worth of service.
That is.
Because they are volunteers and not paid employees. So they put in, they put in some effort for us, so that's been pretty impressive. A couple of kids over 100 hours.
Yeah.
So, well, over 100 hours.
Yeah, did Allison sleep here?
Exactly. I don't know. Most people don't only anybody for it's 71 hours the whole summer.
That's really impressive.
It is.
All right, so we're passing that. We're gonna pass on. Do you want to,
Committee updates real quick.
okay, let's jump to there. So let's do that. Hey, okay, so we're gonna jump to, in the efforts of time and to keep this going. We're gonna jump to committee reports. And Derek, I think I know the answer to this, but do you have anything from Harbor?
I mean, I can share the items that they have on their agenda, but none of them, I think, have any implications for our group, except for that they're trying to move their standing meeting for me.
That's excellent. They're downstairs now, and when I went down to find the password, they thought I was you, and I had to break it to them. I'm not as handsome as the guy that you're gonna have, but
Oh, I was just gonna say the better looking version.
Oh, Derek, and I was waiting down there, I was gonna waiting downstairs for you to walk you down there and say hello to them, so.
So they were champing at the bit to get to meet you, so, and then, they actually said that, the chair said, yeah, I hear he brings really good snacks. So, I don't know, that's pressure or what
Great
it is.
expectations now, Derek.
Wow, that's unfair.
Okay, so there's nothing there. We'll get, well, I'm sure, if they're, you know, I'm sure they can move it. I'm sure it's not gonna be a earth shaker, so we'll take a look at that in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're voting on it today, so hopefully by next month we have a sense of whether or not it's gonna work out.
Good. John, how about open space?
I didn't meet this summer, so 9/19 is.
19 is the next, right? Allison, anything on safe harbor?
Just trying to find what the next meeting was, because they also had that.
Sure, thanks.
You know, they're making up the event from
Yeah, somewhere else.
September 27th, 28th, I think. It's coming up soon. So,
And how about for
Sidewalk
sidewalk safety?
safety, so that's been meeting bi-weekly for the last few months. We were charged with putting together a 5-year plan for safety, sidewalks, connectivity to improve all of those things for the town. Yesterday, we presented a 5-year plan to the select board, I wasn't there for it, so I don't know how that went. But I'm hoping to find out. We don't have another meeting scheduled, but we should have one in about a week and a half from now. And if anyone, of course, is welcome to join the public meetings. So, in mind. So the big picture idea is that at the next town meeting, we will be part of a larger group, larger efforts, including fields. And schools asking for additional money from taxpayers to increase the town's budget for roadways and sidewalks. That's good.
All right, that's good news.
everything you want to do, yes, the ones that were here, and
Well, I'm not sure. We got some.
we got, I see the Schultz girls, right?
Let's start with those guys.
Hey, the junior volunteers want to come up?
Yeah, can you volunteers, come on up here. Go ahead, yeah, tell me who you are.
I'm fine, been bothering.
All right. Let's get in here.
Pat, I think we need to change your certificate, I think it's still a little bit off there, so.
Having a lot.
Yes. All right, well, at any rate, so Ty put in 73 hours of volunteer work for the playground and summer programs in town. We really appreciate that. Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you.
And let's see, we can see Schultz girls.
I like this one, right?
There's one Schultz. Take one home for your sister. Oh, no way. You guys are involved. That's fantastic. Well, the Schultz girls, they both were over 100 hours of volunteer. 101 hours for Madeline and 171 hours for Alice. That's impressive. You guys did great work. Thanks a lot for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We get Charlie's here. And Maria's here.
Charlie.
Yep.
Let's get Charlie go.
Get it back.
Oh, yeah, we did check. So here we go. So now.
Someone have a can, someone you want to take
Hang
a,
on to that.
Maria, you want to join Charlie over here? Definitely want to get a picture of you presenting the check.
Yeah, I got my camera.
Okay.
Getting
All right.
quick orders.
If you want to stand next to Charlie and someone can grab your camera.
This is a repeat performance, right? I recognize his face from
Well,
last year.
I was here last spring.
So this is Charlie's, this is Charlie's donation to Social Service League for the youth sports sale. And a check from the town to.
Yeah,
Social
so
Service.
at the rec fair, he collected and then organized a group of knuckleheads that were selling products. And they actually did an unbelievable job with a very good, a lot of foot traffic. They did a very good job with that. And Charlie, why don't you tell us what happened?
Yeah, sure. So, I was here last spring and tried to like everyone. Nice to see you all. So I won't give you all the backstory, but on March 26th, I think it was, we had the, community fair for the rec department, and we had a little room down in, the band room at the end of the Deer Hill School, where we collected a bunch of sports equipment. I had to put flyers up all over town, went to all the pizza shops, all Good Sport, every single place I could think of to put a flyer up. And so we got a lot of stuff donated, which was great. I counted it all, I think we had over like 400 individual items, whether it was basketballs, footballs, like old bags, all that sort of stuff. And so me and some friends who happened to be there stayed there the whole day and sold them for very reduced pricing, because the goal was just to move product. And so we did that, and we raised, I guess, $278, which I'm proud of.
Or use yours and you can send
I'm
it to
gonna
me.
do both.
Yeah.
So that
Okay,
everyone wants it.
so I'm Maria Mills. I'm the president of the Social Service League,
Nice
and
to meet you.
we have been waiting. We heard about this great news in June. And so we are so happy that you chose Social Service League for your donation, and anyway, so it was very nice.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Here, you could get a picture of that would be great.
So Charlie's the president of National Honor Society this year, so we might be hitting him up for more projects. And Charlie, if you
That
have,
sounds good.
Charlie, if you have any kids that want a project that want to.
Now I know, now I know.
Yes.
Now you know who to call.
Anything SSL or rec department related, we have lots of people who are looking for hours
Yeah.
for, I actually did the sports drive as it's called an ISP, individual service project, which is like 30 hours, so if anyone needs any hours for anything, definitely reach out to me, I can try and get the word out.
We're still collecting supplies, and we left some left over, so
Oh,
if
really?
somebody wants to take on the job for next year,
So I can do it again this year,
you can if you want, yep.
yeah, but I can.
Yeah.
I can put it in the-
And we always have some projects that we're looking for hours, so when you're done doing rec hours, you can join us at.
Roger that.
Oh, yeah. So this is the part of the reason why there's a very good relationship between the Social Service League and rec is there's just a couple of little bullet points here. It's in your packet. But there was a donation to a scholarship fund in 2008 after the 2007 recession that allowed the playground, summer playground program to kind of get back on its feet when it didn't look like it was gonna really, it may not have made it through, but it did make it through with the help of the Social Service League. And they've also been very generous in giving us a donation that helped us with the RED program. So a lot of the rad kids that are working with the Cohasset Police, a lot of that is possible because of Social Service League. And particularly or most recently, I should say, in conjunction with the PJ Trenowitz Foundation, or kind of all together. A couple of members of the Social Service League made pretty sizable donations to the tune of $2,500 from Eleanor Barrett and Christine Lagateria.
That's 2,000 from Social Service
2,000 from
directly,
Social Service,
then 500
500
from
from Eleanor.
each one of them. Yep.
Yeah, they each kicked in, that's what it was. And then there was a commitment from the PJ Trenowitz Foundation. So this is basically the video jukebox down at the rec center is basically running for the next 5 years, thanks to them. So there's a pretty strong connection between the Social Service League and the rec department. So
We are
we
always
appreciate
looking for projects.
I really appreciate it.
No, we like to be tied to the town, and even though we're sort of on a most of our work is as it relates to seniors. We have other funding that allows us to expand that horizon outside of seniors, and so we are always looking for new projects and new things if the town needs.
Nothing wrong with seniors.
That's right. All right, well, thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate your
Happy
efforts.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Charlie, we should talk, because
Yeah,
I got a bunch of golf clubs recently.
Sounds good, I'm back.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.
Alright, thank you. Put that down. A little update, those guys.
Oh, yeah, let's hear about this, here we go. So this is not on the agenda here, but this is an update on a very special project that took place, well, was many months in the planning, but took place and was actually installed over Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, so recently, just to get over a review of my project. My Eagle project was designing and installing two solar powered mobile device or phone charging stations. Which I installed on benches, 2 locations, one at the library basketball court over here, just between the playgrounds and the basketball court. A bench there as well as at Milken Field near the entrance, the bench with the charging station there. And so recently, around a week and a half ago, I believe last Labor Day weekend, Sunday. I went with a bunch of other scouts and worked to install both of the stations successfully. And currently they've been there for around a week and a half at this point. They're operating well. I took some photos the days of. I may just pass this around to show you, but so the first station at the library field, or at the library basketball court. Here, just to show that there's an image here of the bench fully installed. We dug holes in the ground. I buried the concrete blocks, we installed the bench and then put the device charger that I designed on top of it. Yeah, so that's at the library field and the library basketball court. Then at Milliken Field, we installed this bench, which is near the entrance in Milliken Field, near the new snack shack. And I've gotten comments from a teacher who was at the kids' soccer game and they were there and they saw the project and they thought it was really useful, so it's been working well for the members of the community, which
I've
is
used it myself.
good to know you have it.
It works.
Great.
Yeah, so
Fast charge.
is that good? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That means it's working. It's
That's what you set out to do.
I may pass around.
Sure, yeah,
Whatever way is easiest.
Sure.
That's why I can talk to them, but yeah, so that's the basic gist of the project. So it's installed now. I'm currently working on other stuff relating from the scouting side to finishing up my projects. Just paperwork and things like that, but so the project itself is it's completed and installed, so just give an update.
Thanks for that. You appreciate that. All right. Yeah, now you get it going.
Does your dad want one?
I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, there's some photos here of the day of scouts with me working to install the benches themselves.
The best part about this, probably the supervisory.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Fantastic.
we've got a bunch of scouts just within our troop to help out, volunteer, something just turned out really well.
Have you seen one somewhere, or where did you get the idea?
I think so. I was partially inspired by, the book box libraries.
Yeah.
Bird box libraries that are around town. That general design of the bird box itself, or that
It
idea.
does look like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I mean, even the roof with the 2 solar panels,
Yeah.
but that was kind of initial inspiration for what it could look like.
Yeah.
The station, and so I designed to have the same concept of kind of an outside shell. I decided eventually to put it on a bench because I thought a good way to access it for the 2 locations I was putting it at.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I mean that matches how in the inside there's 2 courts. They're kind of protected by I believe a plexiglass shield on both sides, so easy access. But yeah,
I have found 2 kids out, in the 8 years we've been here. I've walked outside a couple of nights and there's been kids too. They're just sitting in there almost in the darkness because their phone's dead and they don't know how to call out to. So I had to bring them in and use a phone, but it's because they couldn't charge their phone. Their phones were dead and they were stuck in the court and nobody knew where they were.
Yeah, that was part of the general idea behind the project as well, just for for kids.
Yeah.
And adults who maybe are at sports games or out about friends, whether the library basketball courts or even the playground and that Milliken Fields. Phone's dead, or they need to contact someone for whatever reason or want to access their phone. It's just there as a free public resource for them to access whenever they need to.
That function, so.
Yeah, I think in the summer when the referees are there all night, they're gonna appreciate it a lot, so.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's really smart.
I like the
Thank
bench too. Benches are nice, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
They're always-
Very well.
Yeah.
I definitely want to thank your dad for all the, he's been a great sponsor of ours. You know,
Years.
he's done a lot of projects for us, the sketch of the rec center. He's doing some work with the soccer club with the Milk and Field shed, so. Longtime sponsor.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it,
Yes.
so.
You need to get all the bill. Player.
I'll take a plane.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you guys, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thank you. Impressive.
Yeah.
They don't help us. Yes, they get work. They don't find problems, they solve them.
Do we know how it works?
He's junior in high school, rising junior.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's a rising, well, he's not rising, he's a junior this year.
I am so
Yeah,
impressed
really.
with what, people.
He's risen.
They've risen.
He has.
I know. Not that they're not coming up with ideas.
I'm just happy Charlie's offering to the project again.
Oh. Jeez, that no. I think, okay, I think. we're up to
I'm out of here. Out of here.
The town project updates, I think that's what we're up to right now, right on time.
And there is, I'm sorry, some of you guys don't have a color copy, but the presentation that from August 2nd is in your packet. After the minutes,
Yeah, it's black and white.
yeah, sorry, there are some
I'm so glad
colors.
to have- That's because I could not make that meeting. I was out of town and I missed it and I've been wondering what happened.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're gonna talk about it.
So I think we'd like to introduce Michelle Leary. Her, Gonna give us a little overview of the public forum and actually the program that we are going to launch in advance of special town meeting in November.
Wow, you nailed it.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah, you nailed it. Michelle is about to give us the rundown. on field
Okay.
projects.
Oh, we'll see.
Piggyback that.
All right, well, thanks for having me tonight. For those of you who weren't able to attend the public forum, I just want to give you a high-level overview of what we discussed. And the items that we discussed were the whole package, the recreation package, which includes the Bancroft tennis courts, a multi-purpose field at the Deer Hill School, the Sawyer Street sports walls, as well as the Beechwood Playground. And so to go into a little bit more detail about each project, I'm going to start with the tennis courts and discuss what the plans are. The plans are to renovate the 6 tennis courts that are in place today, reconstruct the retaining wall, and make the courts ready for future lighting. So there's no lights planned to date, but there were lights there at one time, and we like to keep it ready to incorporate lights in the future. This also includes some drainage. I think Derek may have had some questions about the drainage. I did just find out this morning. I think there was concern about how much cost would be attributed to the drainage plan. And I think that is about $50,000 to $80,000 to make sure that the courts drain properly. Next, we want to talk about the multi-purpose field at Deer Hill. The purpose of this field is really to give the town another regulation size field. This field will be a natural grass field. It will include some renovations to the softball diamond, additional fencing, and athletic lighting. So this field will be able to be used similarly to how Milliken Field is used, but it's only one field. The other thing we're looking at is the Beechwood Playground. The Beechwood Playground, as we know, we've discussed, I think for a couple of years now, we had some money set aside many years ago for ADA compliance purposes. We got mixed reviews on whether it was ADA compliant or not. We just found out we aren't in compliance with ADA. We had a playground inspector inspect all of the playgrounds in town. This playground did fall short for many reasons. They indicated level 1 through 5 hazards at the playground. And obviously they asked that we repair them. The facilities team has since repaired the actual play structures to the best of their ability, so they are safe for play. But the ADA accessibility problem has not gone away. So what we're hoping for is a poured in place surface in all new equipment, additional drainage, and just rehabbing this entire playground to bring it up to the standard it should be brought up to. We talked about the estimated price of this playground. This playground is estimated at about $350,000. I know the Rec Commission previously had contributed about $14,000 from their road race. And we're very appreciative of that. I know that Ted has put a link up on the website for additional fundraising from the community. And I'm happy to say we were awarded the opportunity to apply for an ADA accessibility grant for this playground in the amount of $150,000. So that has been submitted. We'll find out in December if we've been awarded that amount of money. But that would be a great story for this playground. We also applied some $100,000 for ADA accessibility sidewalks and ramps to the playground and to all of the recreational facilities on Beechwood. So you'd be able to access the basketball courts, the playground, as well as the Little League field. So we'll hear about that in December, but we're staying positive that that's going to work out for us. The estimated price of the tennis courts is coming in at about $1.5 million. And so there's been significant surveying done of the area. We do have to go to the feasibility study portion, which will indicate exactly what needs to be done. They do want to change the way that the tennis courts are set up today, because there's nowhere right now for the tennis coaches to kind of bullpen with their players. So this would be tennis courts renovated in place, but there'd be a bullpen area in the middle, almost where that retaining wall cuts the courts in half, which will go away. It's not necessary. It was just a poor design at the time. And we're hoping to open that entire area up. The sports wall, I know there's a lot of questions regarding the sports wall and really what is it for? A lot of people refer to it just as a lacrosse wall, but it's so much more than just a lacrosse wall. Recent studies show that it improves reflexes, improves consistency and control. You can practice your footwork there for soccer. It improves muscle memory. People use them for tennis. And there's no need for a partner. So if in fact there's somebody playing basketball and they're into something else, they can certainly use that lacrosse wall and not have to find a partner to do it. It's for all ages. It's not just for children in the lacrosse program. I mean, this is an estimated price tag of about $100,000. We did get questions as to why the price tag has increased significantly since the original $15,000. And the reason being is the original $15,000 was strictly for the wall itself. It didn't factor in any grading or any earthwork that needed to be done. And it didn't factor in putting the turf around the lacrosse wall. I can tell you that we are only asking the CPC for $25,000 of that $100,000 simply because CPC cannot fund turf. It's not within their funding capabilities. So we're going to ask for additional fundraising mechanisms to come up with that additional money. So all in, for everything we're asking for, the entire project we're estimating to be about $4 million. And the way we look at it is it's something for everyone. I'm sure Jeremy can tell everyone we're working very diligently on the concession stand and the bathrooms. Without hitting snags every step of the way, we're still moving forward. And we hope to have that completed within the next few weeks. So that'll also be a great addition to the entire recreation program. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
So when you say, since Jeremy's here, are we okay with money wise for the fascia or?
So I did check today and it appears that we're okay. We just have to get through that last plumbing piece, which is posing some challenges, but nothing we can't overcome. So we're forging forward.
Yeah, once we get the plumbers in there, Bob Barrows has been doing most of the work, the carpentry work and all that stuff. He's been flying right through it. So with the kitchen right now, on the side, he's got the walls in, the ceiling's in, they spray foamed the whole thing, so it's insulated. So now they just have to bring in some piping in for the sinks. They have to do the floor. He's trying to get them scheduled next week. We just have to bring back the electricians to turn that side on if possible. But the electrician's already been in there once, they've wired the whole thing. We've got the permit, they passed for inspection already for that. So once the plumbers gets in there, then Bob has the installation guy come in, they'll spray foam the walls over on that side, so it'll be pretty quick after that. But we actually used it this Saturday, as is, without electricity. It's better than being outside, put it that way, But they really liked it, we'll have to buy some appliances, things like that, a refrigerator and a freezer. Figure out cabinetry and counter space, but right now we got temporary tables put up, so.
And we talked about the blocking mechanisms for bathrooms, how it's gonna work.
Yeah, he's been looking to see if, they could be wireless and, the door manufacturer told him no, for that, so, but. We'll come across that once we get the doors put in, at least get the plumbing in, it might be just the key right now. That, the town has to open up and close, or we'll figure that out once we get to that spot. I mean, the decking's all done outside, he's gonna finish out some of the cosmetic stuff right now. It's looking good, it really is, everyone can't wait for it to be open.
It looks great.
The town's supposed to be putting the sprinkler mechanisms in there for the whole, for the sprinkler system for the Willisade, so so it's not in the well, so it doesn't get flooded every year, so once because I don't think they ran the sprinklers at all this summer, it didn't have to be. The grass is the best it's ever been all these years, too. You don't even see the old track right now, so it's really in good shape to feel.
Well, the other big thing too is where the electrical is for the sprinkler. There's a telephone pole that gets hit every year. It's the highest spot up there, so it gets hit. And then we notice the track coming back and realize because the water comes on in the middle of the night. So unless you're there, between 12 and 3 in the morning. So we start seeing the track, we realize the lightning has hit the pole. Right next to there's one telephone pole, it's right there, and it hits it, wipes up the system, and it happens every year. And that's when we start seeing the track come back, even on, nice weather.
And they mentioned the pump, the well is not working right now, that has to be fixed and stuff, so they haven't gone in to fix that until they obviously straighten everything else. They've already ran the water pipe, the sewer pipes, so they're ready to go. IRE has done all that work, so now that, like I said, we're just waiting for the plumber, who's gonna order materials, the bathrooms and the sink and all that stuff. So.
And the other thing, sorry, Jeremy, the other thing we're going to add to that concession stand is a hydration station, an outdoor hydration station. So parents and kids can refill their bottles as needed outdoors. So that'll be a nice to have in the community.
A little, more green, so, the high school programs will be up there, lacrosse will be up there, so. Not selling as many water bottles, put it that way,
Hey, Michelle, can you get a deal on more than one? Because one thing that came up through summer playground was it'd be great to have one somewhere up by Deer Hill. Obviously, if the field gets done, you're gonna have, 4 different sports playing up there, at extended periods, with the new field. Add in the Deer Hill students add in the summer playground. And that would be a great spot for another one.
Right,
Somewhere,
so
I don't know where to cite that, but somewhere up there, that'd be great.
that's a great point, Tim. So we can tell you, Adam Norman from Open Space and Recreation is working with Virginia LeClaire. And they came and presented to us all different places that they think that we could put these hydration stations. And they did go out with Nick Berardi, the facilities director, to actually find locations that would be easy hookup locations. Deer Hill is one of them. And I think they cited 5 locations around town. And we're in discussions with Hingham because Hingham is procuring these units. And if we jump onto their procurement, it'll be less costly for both towns. So we're looking into that right now. So that's a great point.
I think with the hydration, they're talking about adding a chiller to it too. You know, the plumbers, so. Is it, I don't know where the water's coming from.
Should it have a filtration?
Filtered, yeah. It probably will have.
Filtered water or town water?
It's filtered water.
So you have to change out the filter.
Change the filter out. Okay.
Yes, but this would be chilled water.
Very
chilled.
If you go with the chiller, you need a filter. If you don't go with the chiller, you can go tempered water and it's just Cohasset water.
I was talking to Jeremy about putting solar panels on the roof, save some energy.
Let's get the plumbing done first.
Let's flush a toilet.
Truthfully, it's not much electricity running through there anyways.
Right.
You know, I mean, a typical bill before we did anything was like $60, $70 a month. You know, nothing's really plugged in over there.
Right.
You know, we plug in a pump or, you know, an air pump or the refrigerator is the biggest thing that runs. All that was running all the time. And the one we had was probably 15 years old, wasn't energy efficient at this point. So, I mean, that's the other thing we're gonna do over where we moved our stuff over to the baseball shed and split that with them. We're gonna have the electrician put some plugs on our side and some lights, and right now there is no lights or plugs over there. There's just one plug inside the baseball shed, that's it. So, but yeah, I know the water filtration system has been a big thing with the high school soccer, because they're going up there and the water fountain doesn't work. I don't even think it's been ever turned on again, so they're like, you know, they're lugging these big things of water over there instead. You know, so it'll help, you know, the whole thing with tennis courts, lacrosse, you know, everyone's up there. Ultimate Frisbee's up there, right?
Yeah, Sunday mornings. Michelle or Chris, you want to talk about the big plan for heading to town meeting?
Sorry. Just at a high level, we'd like as much support as we can, just getting the word out, making sure everybody understands what these different investments are and how they benefit everybody. So Michelle mentioned the questions about the lacrosse wall, which is actually a sports wall. I know from personal experience how much trouble you can get into when you're bouncing a lacrosse ball off the wall of a school. So things like the sports wall, I think bring a lot of benefits to us, but we'd really appreciate your help getting the word out about why these are good investments for the town, how they're beneficial. And Michelle, the timeline of when we're going to have more details on that, would you mind chiming in on that?
Yeah, no. So Ted, thank you. I actually can't thank you enough. Today, Ted provided us with a whole calendar of events of places that we could get the word out, which was fabulous because there were things that we don't necessarily know of at Town Hall, but Ted outlined dates and places that we could really educate people on the process. So I can tell you, we went to CPC on Monday evening. The projects were well received. I think we have a little more of a hurdle to overcome, maybe with capital and advisory, which are our next steps. I think the support from recreation would be tremendous in helping us overcome some of these hurdles. And I know, Ted, that you still have that fundraising effort on the website. Maybe if we could push that out a little bit more, just to show people we're serious about also getting some private funding for some of these projects, that's certainly helpful. Within the next couple of weeks, Justin Schreier will likely reach out to some of you, if not all of you, and ask you maybe for your support, because he's pulling together several videos and materials so we can send them out and educate the public. We've been working on this project for many years now, and everything's just coming together. So I think over the next 4 weeks, you're going to see public forums. I believe this public forum, I don't have the exact date, but is in mid-October at some point. And we're going to see, you know, if we can get as many people to support this project and help us move it forward.
Question, did everybody notice what happened last night at the seconds meeting?
Last night?
Yeah.
No.
So Michelle, do you want to give a little
saying
update of what the big announcements were last night
Yeah.
for the board?
Okay, so
Not just that.
yep, so there's a whole big plan. So what we unveiled last night was that the town is looking to purchase a building for town hall. The purchase of a building would be 1 Pleasant Street. 1 Pleasant Street offers a lot to the community other than just a town hall. So the first floor would be town offices. There are 13 affordable housing units above that would add to our affordable housing inventory. So that's great news. The other project is 135 King Street, and we're looking to purchase that for our police and fire. Police are up there now, their detective unit is up there now, and they've had a couple of months to test the facility and see if it really works out for them from an area perspective. They love the site, so we're moving forward with the purchase of that building. All of these items will come before special town meeting, and they'll also be on the ballot on November 18th because we do need excluded debt to pay for these projects. I can tell you this entire project outline, which would be the public safety, fields and courts, town hall building, roads and sidewalks, the entire plan, as well as schools. So we're looking at a feasibility study as well as a stabilization fund, and the entire package is coming in just about where we were coming in for just our town hall project at annual town meeting. So we listened, we heard, we thought outside the box, and we came up with these unique ways to get everything done while keeping in mind that the community has spoken and they said, no more. We don't want to hear about a town hall renovation again. Come to us with something different. So this is what we came up with.
And Michelle, if I could just make sure everybody understands who was really critical in finding these opportunities for us, it was you, and thank you for finding that for us. But these really are value opportunities for the town. We're going to be providing 3-4 things for the same price that we were at town meeting at the last time around. So thank you, Michelle, for finding these opportunities for us.
My pleasure.
I'd just like to comment on the shed. I was 40 when I came here as an administrator. And I started talking about the shed then. I'm 81 now. So hopefully this is it.
You will cut that ribbon.
Any other questions about, do you guys know what the
No.
locations are? The locations?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 Pleasant, that's a new building,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
It's a new building. Yeah.
Oh, I guess my question is, what will become of the old town hall? Is there still a plan to remove the add-on that was done after the fact and refurbish that building in any way, or what's the plan for that building?
Yep, so that's a great question. And it's come up quite a bit. So what we're looking at is just maintaining the structure as it stands today and improving the historic portion as we go. Realizing that we will need additional swing space because when we do renovate the public safety building on 135 King Street, they'll need swing space. So this will be the fallover space for them to work in while that building's being renovated. And as we talk about these school projects, the administrative offices are going to need swing space so they can then come back here. So the building is critical to all of these moving pieces. So we will utilize it.
And let me know if I forgot anything. So when they were talking about public forums times, I mentioned the open houses. The 4 coming up.
Yeah.
Even your pancake breakfast at the end of October.
Not my campaign.
Yeah, Soccer Boosters pancake breakfast.
That's a high school.
I threw out a soiree at Gigi's house if she was gonna, for the tennis courts. And then I mentioned.
Baseball has a big fundraiser coming up.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, the Cohasset Country Club.
Michelle, you want to add that to your list?
I will add that to my list, yeah.
No, you know what else too? Throw this out there. I don't know how you want to piggyback this, but the Will Golden charity golf tournament was postponed from this past Monday to October 16th up at Cohasset Golf Club. And there's a segment of that crew that has been looking for a sports wall for a little while. So I think maybe we might get some support there.
Great, great.
Mentioned the 143 clothing exchange. I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to look at my list here, when I sent it this morning, Michelle, but. Did I just say anything about it?
I don't have it in front of me, but we did populate it into a calendar, Ted, because like I said, those are things we didn't think about. So anytime, you know, we work together, the things just, it comes together easily. So I appreciate any feedback anyone has, because that's going to help us get this over the finish line.
Like I said, with the Cohasset Soccer Club, we have a over 600 people distribution list. So once we get a package, we can send it out to the whole entire community on an email, you know, in support of this. So.
Thank you.
Would it be helpful to get all of these people at special town meeting? Is that what would be most beneficial? Bodies in the room for a special town meeting?
Yeah, and not only just at special town meeting, but we also need to make sure they go to the ballot, because oftentimes people think they win at special town meeting and then they don't show up at the ballot and everything just fizzles. But, you know, we really need that push for both. So any support we can get, we're very grateful for.
What are they gonna do with the police station?
I'm sorry?
What are they gonna do with the police station?
So they're keeping that. So the fire department will still be housed at the 62 Elm Street location. However, they will have a double bay up at 135 King Street. So they'll have some redundancy there. So they have a presence on the opposite side of the train tracks.
Our mission over the next couple of months is to make sure everyone has all this information. We're putting forward a lot of things. Michelle's done a great job of putting together some really compelling packages, but where we're really asking for help is getting the word out so everybody understands we have thought these things through. They are cost effective, but if somebody goes to town meeting or goes to the ballot and hasn't heard about it, we're going to have a hard time pushing it through.
Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like, next
Thank
time
you.
I talk to you, the bathrooms will be done.
Your updates.
Thank you.
The
Right,
field is
thank
pretty
you.
safe.
Thanks.
You know, up there, the grass is everything, but
So much rain?
I just feel bad for the baseball field. It's all grass now, the whole infield is full.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a time.
Yeah, well, hopefully. you know, so.
So I can talk about that, Jeremy. So I heard from Sarah McSweeney today. We've got it under control. We're gonna get that all fixed up before the spring season. There's money in the budget for it that we didn't use last year. So that'll look as good as new in the spring.
Well, I don't, Vince Thornton's gonna be calling DPW because they have fall ball at Beechwood, so that's all grass too, so.
Yeah.
That's being done soon, real soon.
Good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
You guys all set with the Cohasset soccer boosters with this? You know,
Yeah.
their thing?
Yeah, I was gonna have them approve the permits tonight too, so.
Oh, yeah.
So
Did they talk to me about insurance?
they asked you for, they're gonna jump on your insurance,
Yes.
Okay.
I
but you
did.
gotta redo your
Oh, did you
insurance.
talk to them about that? first?
Well, they called me, yeah.
I mean, private 22nd.
Yes, my insurance is being renewed right now, everything's with Matthews Soccer right now. Until, you know, I won't have the official thing till probably another 2 weeks, the insurance certificate.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just uploading all the names right now, you know, you have to send me my bill, I pay it.
Yeah.
But it costs us $22 per player and $22 per coach that we have to pay to Matthews Soccer. And then they cover us under liability insurance. The certificate I have right now expired on September 1st. So everything's just being renewed. So, but I told, you know, all those kids are coming out from
They're all your kids.
probably 90% of them, yeah. There's probably some kids who don't play soccer.
Yeah.
who
They just
you
don't-
know, something to do that day, but. But I told them.
There's a fundraiser for the boys and girls soccer team next Friday. That you guys are gonna approve the permit, but they just needed insurance too, so Jeremy's gonna help with the insurance.
That's what-
So.
Hey, whatever I can do to help the town,
Yeah.
you know? We interview on Friday for the town.
Yeah, Tim and I tomorrow.
And we gotta ask tomorrow.
Nothing for the soccer fields, but I said I'll go up there, you know? I mean, the only downside is when they do the renovations for the tennis courts, it's gonna take up that part of the field.
Yeah.
And God knows how long that's gonna
Let's
take.
hope that, yeah, let's speed through that.
Yeah, so hopefully they start it right after the fall season. And limit the damage.
Great, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can't leave without one of these.
Oh, I'm good. trust me.
Come on.
Oh, I'm good. My wife will kill me.
You'll have to tell her.
You might can tell my breath.
Can we capture in the minutes how many cannolis we?
Please.
I don't recall.
Sorry, again, sorry, cut
You have to eat these.
We're up to.
That's what I'm saying, he's like,
So
he would have been one, you know, got you one closer to
Summer
being out.
programs.
I did. I'm ready to. I didn't need to, I needed one.
Hey, you know,
So I'll go through, just real quickly, because there's a lot of stuff for summer program, but we're gonna do more of it probably next meeting. In your packet after the field stuff, there was this, we had two great trainings this summer. We had a woman we had a national speaker came in. I'm actually putting together her stuff, what she presented to the staff. She's incredible. And then we, as part of a group in town that wants us to include more children in the program next year. Raising Hearts paid for this woman, Lisa Drennan, who's another national speaker. And she did some diversity inclusion training with our staff before the program. So I did include her little note in here about how great our staff was. So I wanted to include that. Going forward, and probably won't be to the November meeting, I included the stats from the summer. And I'm sorry for the ones without color, but it was interesting to note because, you know, that week of the 4th actually wasn't our slowest week. We're noticing, and we saw it with the extreme program too, that July 31st week is a big vacation week. We put 2 of our most popular field trips on that week for extreme. That tanked the numbers. I guess there was also a baseball tournament that week that was going on, so you'll see that week, week 2 in our second session. Our lowest, it was one of our lowest weeks. We didn't do, if you look at the 4th of July week, we had close to over 70% on July 3rd, which we called a soft opening, and then we climbed right up there.
Fridays
slow.
too. Why are they slow on Fridays?
The Friday slow days are the field trip days. So you're supposed to pay extra for that. That's why you see the number drop a little bit on the 2 Fridays.
And maybe people take off early for the weekend.
Yeah.
In the summer, a lot of people go away for the weekend and they just don't sign their schedule.
Yeah, so the reason why I want you to look at these numbers is the next thing in your packet, which is color and 11 by 17 is what we discussed last year. And it's sort of the plan for next, we talked about planning ahead. And obviously we need you to figure out what we're gonna do next summer. This year we did skip the 4th and we went on the 3rd. It wasn't very popular with staff and not enjoying the weekend. The 5th column is next year, where the 4th is on a Thursday. Now, the thing is, yeah, it'd be nice to take a week off, but I don't think if the school goes back before Labor Day next year, they're never gonna let us stay on the 16th of August. They'll need 2 weeks just to clean up and get us out of there. So we might, if school goes back for Labor Day, we might have to start on July 1st. So then the question goes, do we do what we did last year and make the staff come back on the 5th and work? Something to think, in November, we did decide what we're gonna do about next summer. So you can plan the rates. I haven't seen it. I need to ask Pat.
Other contract, but I feel like it's typically, like, if it starts Labor Day
There's a
on
rule.
a specific date or
Yes.
later, they go before, but I don't know what their.
There's a formula and I don't.
Yeah, I need to
remember
ask.
what it is,
Well,
but
I'll
I
get the
can
form
find out.
before we go,
Okay.
before November. The other thing too is if there's no, if there's no snow days, they're out June 11th. I mean,
Why?
we could be, we could have 3 weeks before we would start. This would be 4 weeks before we start if we went to July 9th.
feedback that I got this summer from a lot of parents was, is there any way you can start rec camp earlier? And is there any way that rec camp can run later? And I know that there are logistical.
Yeah, later-
concerns with that, I've just needed to publicly say that's a request.
Yeah.
From, parents in town, that it is such an incredible program. It's just too bad that it's so short.
Yes, and I think your college kids will like it more, because 6 weeks isn't enough for them. I mean, it's all about snow days. I mean, we can, by March, we should know, if it's at June 11th, June 12th, June 13th.
Yeah.
If we have that last week of June, that's a good possibility. This third week of June is gonna be, we won't know until March, and then
Right.
that's gonna be a little tough to plan and get that close.
But if we could have camp start that last week of June, that would be ideal. Is that something that?
Yeah, then we could,
consider?
we could do that and give the staff Thursday and Friday off. Well, Thursday they have off anyways.
Yeah, we could
Um,
start earlier.
then the question is, we just have to figure out. We should be out of school by the 9th. I think they're gonna, if they go back before Labor Day, there's no way they're gonna tell us, they're gonna want us out by the 9th, August 9th, so they can get ready, the school's ready. But if they don't,
Okay.
if for some reason they go back late. A very long summer for them,
Yeah,
Labor Day next year, looks like it's September 2nd, so.
It's not too-
Labor Day is September 2nd?
so it's not too bad.
There's no way then.
so it's definitely gonna be after that.
Yeah, they'll start after.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
That's
Good
early.
job.
Because there is a
Very
formula
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
been-
How is that?
I don't know how that happened. I don't know. It's gotta, like, can't say officially, but the guess is it's gonna be after Labor Day.
Okay. So we'll get all those, everything ready. Like I said, if you want to take a look at these numbers. Like I said, that soft opening worked out great for us for the third because. The traffic wasn't too bad. I think. My personal opinion, the switch to the high fives up to the Osgood was great. New
Yeah.
group with us was great. I think the traffic, you guys saw it more than I did. Except for those first couple of days, which is always crazy.
Yeah,
Was it better at 3 o'clock during pickup when it was just the Bear Hill kids up at the Oscar? Did you see an improvement there?
yeah, the first 2 days, not so
Yeah.
much, but after the kinks were worked out.
Yeah.
For sure, much better, much better.
You agree? I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
I just, I'm thinking, the pickups right now, it's, anytime there's a transition.
Yeah.
People who do not have children, like, forget how to drive.
Right.
well, hopefully we'll get more. I mean, I see the signs up there for the school that started 2 weeks ago. That's still up.
They should change the message instead of saying school started at 8:30 or whatever it says, to just drive slowly, school zone, or just something applicable to right now.
And hopefully we'll get those signs on Sawyer Street, because the traffic on the speed of Sawyer Street it scares me when Melanie
Yep.
Sasso was down here. No offense, but she's so, when she was wearing a non-pink shirt, I was worried for her life. When she was just wearing a white shirt, but they give her all bright colors next year, but. She's kind of short, and I saw the traffic coming at her 50, 60 miles an
In
hour.
front of the
At
library,
Music Circus Gate.
the music circuit, right,
I mean,
right,
I
right,
was
yes.
as nervous when I, looking at her saying.
Yeah.
And I asked the police and hopefully get more signage next year. On Sawyer Street, the ones they have now and at the high school. I'd love to have them plastered them on both sides of.
Yeah.
Sawyer saying, camps in session, slow down.
Yeah.
But I think it worked. I mean, I think. The parents loved it. The kid, like you were right, Allison, about the kids going into kindergarten. Those parents, thought it was the best thing ever, that they were in that school for 3 to 6 weeks, all before they went to that school that day.
Yeah.
I had a chance to talk to the Osgood, to Lisa, and Lisa to see how much crying the first day was, when we had 90% of those kindergartners. And some of them, a lot of them were there for all 6 weeks. So I think.
You're gonna have crying no matter what. I had 2 of my third graders out of 18 kids crying, like. And they're fine. 5-10 minutes later, one mom and dad
Yeah.
are
they're
gone,
fine.
So we can decide, I mean, as long as, November, we'll make a vote. Here's what we want to do. Even with a plan for June,
Yeah.
if snow days work out, we'll have a plan hopefully by February, we can get the logistics
great.
there. Because we want to have it for the rec fair, March 24 is the official date for rec fair.
Right,
We want to be able to announce that there is something in June, and I think by March we should know. For these snow days, so.
Well, they say there's no crying in baseball, there's no crying in.
I did include,
It should be set until it actually happens.
I included the numbers for extreme, so you guys have that in front of you. It was our largest summer for extreme, both number wise and number of children wise. It's the first time we actually broke 200 different kids. It's interesting, there's a sheet here I didn't want to give you that had personal names on it for kids that signed up for the entire summer and parents didn't even sign them. Yeah, we have over two dozen kids that just didn't show up for their sessions, and some were love multiples where they signed up for 3 weeks and didn't show up for all 3, or
A donation.
yeah. But I want to give you that, I mean, I know we always talk about field days up there. I think the one thing that I talked to the staff afterwards, it got better. You'll see the numbers, you won't, it doesn't really show it, but we do see a lot of kids go to sailing. On those sailing club bases, their schedule on us, our field trips, so they actually, these kids do leave for that purpose. You know, they know when to do swim lessons, when to schedule the sailing lessons, but they know, because they know my schedule by January. And then they schedule the sailing for that middle school group around the field trips. That's why they got mad at me when I moved one, and I was getting complaints from the sailing club that, you know, you actually moved it because sailing was that day for those kids.
That's good that they coordinate with you.
You know, I think the summer went great. To see the most popular trips here, and we sorted it by popularity by kids that were enrolled versus, you know, for the attending. A couple of notes here from the staff about like paintball week was that, you know, that July 31st week, which was a slow for playground too. And it was a baseball tournament, so we lost a lot of the older kids. They have some notes here, like Canby Lake Park, I guess there's no designated group area, so they want me to talk to them about that if we go back, but overall, it was a good summer. So summer programming wise, we'll go into more detail, more breakdowns for you, how the summer went. The JVs were great. We just have to increase, and we used to have 40 to 50 of them. And as you see, there's only 14. So we need to build, our goal is to build up on that program a little more, because it's good labor. And a lot of them they work very hard. The next thing I have just is it wasn't on the agenda, but it was just the permits for the fall. So, Jeremy turned his in. I got Steve Atani's high school one. There's 2 Saturdays that he's scheduled a game at 4 o'clock, but he moved it back to 4:30 and work with Jeremy to make sure soccer's off. And so that's I think the 14th to 21st are Saturdays that there'll be a soccer game after the big, after soccer. So that worked out well. And then I did catch that soccer boosters clinic, and I had to set back in them to come to the office for a permit. And they are, like I said, using Jeremy's insurance because they needed insurance, and the soccer boosters didn't have it. So if you guys, we don't typically take a vote in the fall, but what do you think, Tim? Based on the fall schedule with the soccer boosters.
So when I just heard you say you move things back, take a look at isn't there overlap here between Jeremy and Rotundi on
2 Saturdays, October 14th and October 21st. For some reason, those other dates are not Saturdays.
Well, what about, so as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at, Jeremy's got, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 to 8.
Yeah.
For Milliken 1 and 2. And then I'm looking at Rotundi, he's got 3:30 to 5:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Milliken 1 and 2.
So the varsity games are mostly, now the season started, the varsity games are usually on alumni. So this is JV and the JV plays. I don't know if was your daughter JV or varsity on Milliken, or was she alumni?
She's
alumni. Okay. So they do work with each other. So they know, like Jeremy using
So even though there's like a half hour overlap.
Yeah.
It's not really.
Yeah, they work with each other.
Yep.
So if someone wants to make a motion to approve the fall soccer schedule.
Your motion to approve the fall soccer schedule, okay? Allison moved. Second.
Second.
There was
You can second.
John second.
John's gonna second.
John seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Right, numbers have passed.
So the next thing on, I put the Thanksgiving application on here for you guys. So this is last year as well. It's got the official dates for this year. We just waiting for our new sanction logo, the USGF. No real changes, I talked to Tim and John, we're gonna go with silver short sleeve. We've actually run the gauntlet for colors, so we're running colors, and we've also have to watch because that sport shirt we have, sometimes the kid shirts don't, they have different size colors than the
Same
adult colors.
colors.
So we need to, we're very close to the,
Alright, same color.
and then we have to watch, we've had a lot of people ask for long sleeve shirts, but. The one thing that Michelle mentioned is that they're looking for more money from us for the Beechwood Playground. And as you saw there in their packet that Michelle had on the Beechwood Playground piece, there's a little asterisk,
14 grand.
14 grand with the asterisk.
Yeah.
We've given them 7. They were like another 7. And when I talked to Michelle and Tim was on the call, we asked for a few things. We want more Hull runners, and she's Hull Park and Rec also. And we want more Citrus runners, because Hingham competes with us in Hanover. We usually have a pretty good, we have over, I think, 80 Citrus runners last year. So we always have a good Citrus crowd. Our Hull crowd last year was only about half, like a dozen or so. There's usually a family that runs. And he brings over 10. He didn't come last year. So we're gonna make we do have a push for 1,000. We were shocked we didn't get it last year, so. I'm ordering more yard signs, so it's actually on my list to ask you guys. I know you have one. When the yard signs come in, I know Katie moved away from her great spot on Hall Street, but I'm gonna ask Mrs. Durso and Todd Goff. Todd Goff's right there, and actually Mandy, who works for the town, is right at the corner by. So we'll have a couple spots, but if you have any Hull with Citrus friends that have good traffic areas, like good spots for, where it's high traffic, not some side street.
You could put on the side of my truck, I drive over all this town.
I see you all the time driving your truck.
But that's your boss, and you can do a little thing.
Yeah, put it on the side.
So if you have, if you know any Hull Citrus people that live on good spots, let me know, because we're getting 24 new yard signs ordered to try to get more signage out. And the other thing we asked Michelle in that call, the conference we had, was we need that sign at JJ's. We've had that sign at JJ's, we've seen a huge increase. Coming, it's usually going south, and if we can get another sign heading north. The dump, last year all we had was the dump, and I hope it was on there, that I was told it was at the dump. But we just need more signage to get more runners. So I know we need a vote, but Tim, how do you want to put the contingencies on that?
I think we should probably throw a contingency to the tune of, and tie it in with, bodies, the number of bodies, because we were able to do it last year, because to kick this thing off every year, we need about $5,000 to kick off?
Almost 10,
Really?
yeah, because the shirts we need to do.
Oh,
for.
sure, so like.
That's 5, 6.
600 right
So
there.
it's about 10, every year we need
So
about 10.
we have to have 10 kind of kicking around in the conference to be able to get the thing off the ground, and then, the number of bodies that show up, obviously we can make that 10 back plus, and then on top of that, some, hopefully $7,000 for the kids to.
Right.
But if we're gonna vote on that, I guess we should sort of contingency on, contingent on there being 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000.
As I was saying, is like, that's a good kind of aspirational goal, and if it turns out we had 9, 15, I think we probably look at it and go, close. Yeah, and then we can vote it again.
Yeah.
We can have a second vote to say, yes, we still want to give the 7,000, even though we didn't get our contingency.
Yeah, I like that idea.
From September. All right, so then somebody want to make a motion that we will give $7,000 to the Beechwood Playground Fund contingent upon the Thanks for Giving road race hitting 1,000 registrants. Someone make that motion.
You can say so moved.
Gotta say that whole.
As long as
phrase again.
Katie's got it, as long as Katie has it.
Solid that we had 1,000 runners.
So moved as stated.
So move this state.
There you go. There you go.
I can.
And second.
And seconded, Julie seconded. She beats it.
Who made the motion?
The motion was John.
I know.
Seconded by
Who wants to be secretary? Let's make a motion.
And
That took about a minute.
yeah, and all those in favor?
Is there a signage opportunity at Good Sport?
We can put a yard sign there, yes.
Yeah, I think that might be a good spot.
That is one of our normal
Oh, is
locations.
it?
I gotta
Okay.
find out now with, Mathnasium always had, that was a great spot.
That is, good
I
spot.
just I gotta find out who the owner of the triangle is.
Yeah,
That's a good spot. I gotta see if that's now owned by Ferncraft or is that. If someone owns that property, because Casey's always just said, go ahead,
oh,
Casey
yeah,
Peter from Mathnasium.
Which one?
okay.
The triangle.
Fern, preschool is now.
Is it Versana?
For business thing.
We always do Cohasset Collision, because he's always one of our runners.
Oh, yeah.
So
We,
It's
we're
like
gonna be
yours.
putting a big sign out front of our
It's
church.
in the little
Take that
plaza
up.
where
Okay.
companies-
That's 2 weeks.
For the nails. Yeah, thanks, Sep.
Yeah, I didn't look at, I'll send it to Jennifer. We are gonna work on a new sponsorship. This is our sponsorship letter right now. That'll be going out, but we are gonna clean up a little bit by. I asked the Chatted Fund to clean up their piece and Eve, I know I sent it to John and Tim for suggestions too, but yeah, we just want to talk, we want to get more sponsors from out of town, Hull and Situate sponsors too. So that's one reason why I did ran the numbers for Situate kids and help people, so. We could say it's more of a South Shore, be the first one to say it's a South Shore race, before Hingham does. And just, try to get more, more sponsors from Situate Hall saying that, because we have runners from Situate Hall to join us, so. We are gonna try to clean this up real quick before we try to send it out next week or so. So. Fall wise, I put the brochure in here in your packet. Everything has sort of started. Super Soccer starts this week. The rec center is doing very well. Our first 5th grade Friday is coming up. I think we have over 100 members total.
Yep.
Between the two. Where's the latest? Number?
Yeah, 108. Which the last 2 years, we were at 113 last year
Overall.
and 106 throughout the whole school year. And those actually included so for a total of the 2 years, we had an average of, was it 110 and an average of 28 of those were part of the free trial. So they weren't even paid memberships. This year we're at 108 paid memberships. So yeah, it's going really well. The 5th grade Friday should be pretty interesting to attend and oversee, but they'll be fun. I know I met a lot of those kids over the summer, so I'm looking forward to seeing them again too.
I think we have 40 to 50.
We're at 48
already, and
for the.
I think once the word gets out before 5 to noon, I think we might,
Everybody else.
we might have a
is
run.
going, so everyone else-
I've already warned him, he might have 80 on Friday night.
Wow.
I
Like the
think,
whole, this is the whole thing. From what I understand.
how many 5th graders, so you know, it's a 5th grade, it's a big group.
It's a wild.
I think I met the ringleaders over the summer, and
Did you say the ringleader?
yeah, ringleaders, the players, I guess we'll call them. And built some really solid rapport, and I know a lot of them from the summer basketball program as well. So I'm actually they're entertaining, so we'll say, put it that way. So to put them in that closed area space, we'll see how that goes. Usually I see them, there's acreage around us, they can burn off some energy that way.
Okay, so tell me this, because I have gotten a couple questions already.
Yeah.
How does it work exactly? They come for the time that they're supposed, what happens if they leave early?
So typically with the after
Yep.
school type drop-in, they're free to come and go. I think with the 5th graders, especially considering the time of night that it is, it's
Yeah.
from 6:30 to 8:30. It's not extremely well lit, and that road is pretty well traveled even throughout the night, and it's hard visibility. The positive thing of that is that the barrel closes at 7. So there's no need for them to really walk about town, other than to utilize the barrel for like the 30 minutes that it's open prior to us beginning.
So
But
they-
yeah, they'll
they
be
are
hanging
allowed
out.
to leave, or they're not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question, and thank you for putting it on the radar. I think at that point, once I reach out, because I'm actually sending out the email blast tomorrow of all the emails that I've collected. We're starting Friday. If you'd like to give your child permission to walk and leave on their own accord, that's perfectly fine, I can oversee that. Otherwise, I'd be waiting for them to make calls and get a ride.
But what do you suggest? I mean, Sal, so do you want to make a suggestion or?
Well, I just am, you know. I just think of somebody who leaves and maybe their parents don't know that.
Yeah, and I think just, it'd be fine if it was during the day,
Yeah.
but it being at night. I would feel more comfortable with them having a ride present at the door that I see, because the staff area, I'm looking at the double glass doors. So I see every car that comes up, so whenever I see someone, I call them in, they come out. I would feel more comfortable with that arrangement. I wasn't gonna allow kids to just like walk out and be like, hey, I live right down the road, like, okay, well, let's call home and like see what's up. Cause we have all that information ready too. So, yep, we'll have.
Maybe would just include something like that in the email.
Yeah, and no, and I thank you for even putting it on. That will be a great addition to the email.
Better safe than sorry.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
So don't leave him without a parent. For 2
Unless,
hours.
I like the idea of the written permission.
Yeah.
So, some people might say, well, really, I'd like to put permission in writing for my child to do it early.
Or
It
if
might
they-
be nice to have that opportunity.
There's the
I like
also
that
the,
idea.
the choice of maybe a kid that lives next door, around the street, and the kid's sleeping over there, and then we should get a written note that they're leaving with something.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
kind of similar to camp.
like
yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we could even set up something similar to like the carpool stuff that we do for the summer camp, for the playground program.
Yeah.
The Barrow did help us out again, they're doing 10% discount again this year. We do have bus 4, so the bus 4 is dropping kids off at the,
Yeah,
Our
it's
center?
being utilized,
Yep.
yeah.
We actually just lined up, bus 8's now gonna be dropping kids off at the library. If anyone wants to go to the library, use it for us, for dance, for erging, library programs when the investors up and running, so. They just approved that this morning, so we're gonna try to roll that out, do like an ID. We're trying to get like dance and ergs to maybe even start earlier, they get 3:15, if the kids get. You know, that bus, I guess, middle school and high school buses are empty.
It's so great.
So that's our, so they have an ID sort of like the one we do for the rec center. And those rec center kids can use that ID to take bus 8 to the library if they need to too, for,
Oh, great.
you know, they come down, and Tim could tutor them if they want. So. But no, it'd be great, I mean, so we're gonna roll that out pretty soon, with bus 8, be the library bus for any kid, middle school, high school. Who doesn't have a license, come on, you know, take the bus down. So, and then you see this. I think that's. Any question about the, middle school volleyball starts tomorrow night, got 20, I think they're up to 24 kids. Rowing started yesterday for the kids, they have a special Tuesday program that started first. As the adults are still outside in the water, so. They're upstairs, so, oh, by the way, so the dance, we talked about this last meeting. The dance is going great downstairs, they love it. The parents love it, of course, they're all in the office right now, so I gotta figure out how we're gonna, they all wait in the office for the next class to start. And, so, but, it's just, it's better, Jack would like it, the noise, tap dancing was in the same, on the same floor. Doesn't bother you as much when it's over your head, and having yesterday we had. 20 kids dancing next to us, and then the ergs upstairs, and all you hear is the swishing noise from the ergs, like a dishwasher, so it's. It worked out great for the 2 programs, switching the sites, and the only thing I need to work on is, when it does get warm up there, I gotta try to get that air moving, because, they, even with the adults, when the adults start, it's gonna be. That room does heat upstairs from the natural heat and all those windows. So I just gotta work out, trying to lower the temperature upstairs. So nobody passes out,
Yeah.
too much heat. But other than that, I think. The indoor farmers, I noticed, I was looking at the agenda, some of the stuff that Tim had in his minutes, farmers market, I just ran into wasn't a lot of support to do it, I was trying to do it.
Eclectic on like March 27th. People are doing backflips.
Yeah, but having a regular thing, I didn't have the support from the 2 people I needed the support from.
So it did well at the rec fair.
Oh, it's huge at the rec fair.
But not
And-
well
and-
enough to do a regular week.
I could try, we could try it solo, I just don't know, we don't have the contacts. Unless I go to farmers markets and hand applications to them. I was gonna try to Hanover, is the 3rd Sunday of the month from May to November. So I was trying to take the 3rd Sunday so I could go to Hanover and say, come to Cohasset, or go to the Cohasset ones before they all pack up and say we can do it. The 2 people I needed the most help from was just I've sort of backed off, so it's like, I'm nervous about doing it myself.
Yeah, we don't want to do this.
So,
We're not in the farmers.
We're not in the
Yeah.
farmer's market business.
I mean, maybe someday we will, you know, downtown west,
4 years.
yeah. So that's just in the background right now. I know I talked about that at the meeting in June, but we're just gonna put a hold on that right now and just go from there, so. I think that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions, or Derek, are you okay with the drainage issue with the tennis courts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we gotta raise the capital first, right? Get the money in place, and then we can deal with the nitty gritty after the fact.
There's a drainage, I mean, where it is right now, is it heading into your yard? Regular? Like
I
in your-
I think all of the abutters experience a little bit during the good rains.
We've had some of that.
It's interesting, it does dry well, because of the sun and the wind up there, it usually dries pretty quick. But not as much anymore, because it's all just. You know, the paint job, there's no more sandy grit to it anymore, so.
Stay in water.
mm. That's all I have.
Anything else? You wanna talk about CMI, you wanna wait for the next one? CMI rates, can we do that at the next meeting, October 11th?
Yeah, I mean, do you wanna, you can bring it up.
So with the, and fill in if I'm not up to speed on this, but as I understand it, so the CMI, the rowing, group that we have now upstairs using the, ergs. They want to keep it going. It's not a huge major part of their, overall programming. It's a nice add-on part of their programming. It's a great part of our. So what they have said is, hey, we can't pay you what we paid you last year. We don't have the money. So they propose paying us a lower rate. And for us to change what we're charging them, we have to vote on that. To basically.
Switch it to a, I think,
Accept a lower, or a lower, it's not no longer a percentage, it's going to be two lump sum payments of $2,000 each. So it'd be $4,000 plus some percentage, some agreed upon percentage that have we come to a number on that with them? 17.
yeah, we need to figure out like what number they're trying to hit to.
Yeah, because what this is it's basically, it's important for us to have, because we want to offer it, and it's offered for adults and for kids. But the kids is the part that Ted is pushing to, and you know, I think it would be great too, we can get more kids down here after school doing your herb machines. Problem is, for the CMI, it's just an add-on, it's a bolt, it's not, it doesn't move the needle for them. So there's no real, and they claim that they've gone out, and I have no idea, I don't know anything about what their situation is, but they claim they've gone out and tried to beat the bushes for as many kids as possible, and they've kind of got what they've got. And it's not like there's a lot of new prospects out there that they can grab. So they've kind of got what they've got, and it's like, it's basically, this is what we have, we can't pay you this amount of money. We'd like to keep it going, we know you want to keep it going, is there any way we can pay you less money?
And would they use it less?
No, they're gonna use it the same amount they do,
So use it the same amount but pay less because they have less.
because they don't.
My suggestion is that they sign up what they have and then they come to us. What if they get 3 times as many people? Why would we?
So they already did that, they already have signed, they already started last week.
They already signed.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I think it's just a vote to not charge it 25% and take the payment plan with almost a contingency that, you know, like they said, if they do better. I mean, I give some suggestions all the time, and the spouse hopefully will work out for them. Get more kids down there, and just having more people.
Yeah, and so what they proposed is, you know, we're gonna try, so it's kind of funny. So we're gonna try to bring in as many people as possible, but we're only gonna bring in enough people as possible as we can afford to give you this money. So once we find what that number is, we're gonna leave
And we're
it,
done, yeah,
which I would do the same thing.
right, but it means that no matter what, we're getting that amount.
We're getting at least $4,000 plus a percentage of whatever, some number of percentage, we're gonna get that percent of what those people pay above.
Yeah.
Whatever the.
And we've been about 5,000 last 2 years, so it's not a big difference, especially with that percentage, so.
And what is the money used for, upkeep, like?
Yeah, we just put it into our, we put it into our fund for that building.
For here, for the sewage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever goes on sewage, or then or programs or
Right,
whatever.
oh, it's not just the herbs, it's for
And
anything.
there's, I mean, the good news is too, that, which is different, this is something to think about. We charge 25 because of the 3% credit card. We don't have that here. They just give us, they're taking the fee. They're
Yeah,
taking the charge.
we don't register them through our MyRec thing, we don't do that, they come, they're basically taking it's not. We sell it as a program for teens, but it's not our program.
Yeah.
We
Got it.
give them space.
Yeah.
So that teens can.
Got it. Oh,
I'll make a motion, we accept it, whatever worded you two decide to do.
You wanna think about it, or you want to vote on it? Seems like it's. I mean, the way, my take on it was, it's another thing that we can say we offer. It's never been a moneymaker for us, rather than have them say, sorry, we can't afford to do it, and they just leave.
right,
We accept what they can give us, and maybe we're applying this money back into the program, but if it turns out that, because of the location and because they found out, a bunch of kids found out their friends were doing it, maybe we get that uptick. Then maybe the money comes maybe closer back to that 5,000.
but otherwise they're just sitting there unused. Right?
Yep.
They're not coming in, right, so I don't.
Yeah, we don't run our own, it's
Right.
not competing with our programs.
Right, so I think,
I think-
I agree.
The other thing too is that I think over 60% of classes are at times that we would never run a program. They actually have 6 AM classes planned on Sundays.
So a lot like the adults, like want to try and get their work on in.
All right, so we do have a motion, we need a second.
Okay, so Jack moved.
Are we doing it for this year? We
Yes.
visit it again.
We'll do it for, we'll
Yes,
get
we'll do it.
One year.
The year that began
Second.
September 1, and Julie seconded, and all those in favor of the renegotiated fee schedule with CMI for their rowing program, say aye.
Hi,
Aye, unanimous. Okay, great.
productive meeting. Productive meeting. Yeah, wait till you see these notes.
Isn't it nice Isn't it nice when you're here?
That is gonna be like, oh my God.
Isn't it nice when you're here?
Lovely to be here. Lovely to be
Careful,
here.
Derek's on
Yeah.
call.
Just remember, we always eat.
Yeah, well, then I'll be here.